Alright guys, we're going to get started on our orange cranberry walnut biscotti. So we are going to be using an egg replacer today. It recommends energy egg replacer. You can get it at most grocery stores, especially specialty stores. We're going to mix that with some warm water. We have an orange, sugar, coconut oil, vanilla extract, orange blossom water. Now, I looked everywhere for this and I could not find it. So I did some research. If you take half the quantity and use orange extract instead, it works just as well. Then we got salt, flour, baking powder, baking soda, dried cranberries, and chopped walnuts. I'm gonna go ahead and get this stuff ready, and then we'll get started baking. Now, it says to mix your water and your energy egg replacer together. And for those of you who pull out the tiny little whisk, y'all never make scrambled eggs really early in the morning, and just use a fork. It's just as well. Orange, and just from first inspection, I'm not seeing any seeds. Is it gonna ruin it if there's one or two seeds? No. Do I know if navel oranges have seeds? No. It's an orange. It might have seeds, it might not. But this tells us to process it to a pulp. Now, nowhere else in the recipe does it say what to do with it afterwards. So there's two ways we can do this. First way, we can assume somebody messed up when writing the recipe for the book. And you're supposed to add this when you add the walnuts and cranberries. That's the most likely reason. Number two, apparently pulsing it to a pulp will magically put the essence into the biscotti without adding any orange, and it's gonna be correct. I'm leaning towards number one, so that's what we're gonna do. If I'm wrong, we will know in a little bit. But one of my favorite things to do is make noise, so let's make some noise. So now we have all of our ingredients set up. Now we just got to put it together. Let's go to the book. There it is. Alrighty. It gives us the option of using an electric hand mixer or the stand mixer. My beauty right over there. And that's what we're going to use, because what's the point in paying that much money for something that awesome and not using it? Come on. Alright everybody, this is where we're at now. This is mixed for 3 minutes. It looks like a big bowl of goo. But we are going to add in our flour, baking soda, and baking powder mixture, and that is going to change what that looks like. And then we will add in our orange, cranberry, and walnut, because we are making orange, cranberry, walnut biscotti. So, when I add my flour, I don't dump the bowl in. I'm a big guy, and I got big hands. So I take a nice spoon, and I just start spooning it in. Why add it in spoonfuls? Well, once I get this going, it's going to incorporate a lot better doing it that way. All right. So now it actually has a very sandy texture. If you've ever eaten biscotti, that seems kind of right. So, get that thing out of the way. First thing I'm going to add in is the orange. All right, so it says to mix them all together. I'm actually going to mix this in first and see what the dough looks like. Look at that. Now we got a dough. All right. So next we have 1 1/4 cups dried cranberries. And then 1 1/4 cup chopped walnuts. Another stir. Oh, it's getting so angry. Keep mad at it. Okay, I'm gonna check the replay because I really think it just shot a piece of dough back there. What the fun? That looks like a good dough. All right, so the next step is to turn our dough out onto a lightly floured surface that I have here. Put that to the side for cleaning in a minute. Now, you just want to make sure everything is nice and together in here to make this next part easier. Gonna take our little table scraper here, this lovely thing, and then we're gonna divide the dough in half. Eyeballing it. There we go. Even halves. Look at the inside of that. That is gorgeous. That is gore to the just. Now, what you're gonna do now is roll this out into 2 identical logs, 2 inches wide by 14 inches long. If you have an eye that can do that, power to you, but I use a tape measure. That is not 2 inches. That's just under 14 inches. So, we're just gonna two inches. All right, that's a little bit longer, so just tuck it in. There's that one. Now, once you have one, just match them up. Nope, not matching. To my eye, that looks even, so we're gonna go with it. All right. We have our 2 logs, baking sheet, silicone pad. Now, if you don't have one of these, don't go out and buy one if you don't want to. All you need is parchment paper. Works the same. So what we're gonna do is set these on the sill pad. That's it. Oven is already preheated because we've actually been doing this for like 30, 40 minutes. It says it takes 20 minutes to prep, but I talk a lot. So, gonna slide those in there. Now, we need to start our timer because we are baking for 35 minutes. And I'll be back when that part is done. All right, guys, our timer just went off. Let's go ahead and check to see what we got. Hey, that doesn't look half bad. All right, guys, our biscotti just finished its first bake of 35 minutes. We're gonna let it cool for 20 minutes, then we get to cut it with a serrated knife. After that, we'll be laying it on top of the cooling rack on top of the baking sheet. Why are we doing this? This way the heat gets under the biscotti so we don't have to flip it while we're baking it. This is my first time trying this technique. Last time I made biscotti, I flipped it, and it wasn't that difficult, but this could alleviate a step. So we're gonna let that cool down, and then we're gonna move on. I'll be right back with the serrated blade. All right, we have just finished our 20-minute cooling period for the biscotti. Now we are going to use a serrated blade. That's very important. Use a serrated blade to cut it into 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch pieces. Depending on the size, depends on how many biscotti you get. So first you want to cut the end off. Oh, that smells really good. And you can actually eat this, it's fully cooked. So let's chop these up real quick. Get them back on a sheet and pop them back in the oven. Another 20 minutes, same temperature, 350. Let's get going. All right, everybody, this first one. Okay, everybody, this first one is not looking that great. I don't know if it's still too warm or not, but this is what's happening every time. This part right here is breaking off and this part right here is breaking off. It smells incredible. I'm still gonna do the double bake on it. They just won't be the prettiest things in the world. So, y'all seeing an issue here? I am. The issue I'm seeing is the two top portions are falling off the second I start to cut it. Now, I do have another biscotti. Maybe this one just wasn't rolled enough to put it together, but I'm gonna set this stuff on top of a cooking rack before I put it on top of anything else. Let's just see what happens, all right? All right, everybody, so this is from the first one. This is from the second one. The second one looks a lot better than the first. I don't know what the difference is. This one actually smoothed out a lot more. I'm still going to bake both because they're gonna be delicious no matter what they look like. And that's something you need to remember. So we're gonna go ahead and put these on a cooling rack, put them on top of a baking sheet, and put them back in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes until they are nice and golden brown. We'll see you in a minute. Let's get baking. All right, everybody, our biscotti are done in the oven with their second bake. It only took about 15 to 16 minutes, but they are golden brown and I'm pretty sure they're going to be delicious. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna let them cool completely because that's what the recipe says to do. I'm going to make myself some coffee, even though it's 5 p.m. I'll go play Call of Duty or something when I can't sleep tonight. And I will see you guys for the recap. All right, everybody. Our vegan orange cranberry walnut biscotti are done cooling and they look delicious. So what we're gonna do now is recap. We're gonna grade my skills. We're gonna grade the recipe for modern vegan baking as well. We're gonna base it out of 5 cookies. So first things first, a good thing to check with biscotti, yes, I just did move the camera. Nice and crispy. So listen to this crunch. So that is delicious. It is nice and crunchy. I needed to drink some coffee because my mouth was a little dry from talking a lot today. And now, adding the coffee while I was already chewing it really brought out the orange flavor. I did not expect that. But now what we're gonna do is we're gonna dunk this into my coffee and see what happens. So dunk, hold for a second, bring it up and just let it drip. Little drip. And then you munch. So I got some biscotti in my beard, and I brushed it into my coffee. Luckily, it's my beard and my coffee, so I don't have to worry about it. But oh my god, that mixture was incredible. I am very happy right now. I think this recipe was very successful. Set that there. So for me, I give myself a 4 out of 5. I am going to ding myself for how crumbly that first roll of biscotti was. I think if I would have thought it through, I would have added 1 teaspoon of water along with a teaspoon of orange extract, and that would have the same amount of liquid that was supposed to be in the recipe. I'm not going to ding the recipe for that, so that's on me. So I'm going to give myself a 4 out of 5 cookies. Alright, now we're going to rate the Modern Vegan Baking by Gretchen Price, the Orange Cranberry Walnut Biscotti recipe. I'm also going to give it a 4 out of 5. Why? Well, first off, orange blossom water is a very specific specialty item that I went to Whole Foods, Mom's Organic Market, Giant, and Weiss, and I could not find it. I almost went to Wegmans, but I checked their website, and their website said they don't have it. So that's 5 stores that don't have it. You are able to do research to find it, but that's going to take off half a cookie. Now, the other half of the cookie that's being taken away is because this recipe doesn't tell you to do what to do with the orange after you puree it, basically. Doesn't tell you to put it in, doesn't tell you what to do with it. So that is why they're getting 4 out of 5 cookies. I think that's fair. Now, I am excited to try more recipes out of this book, but we gotta let the random number generator figure out what we're doing next. Until then, don't forget to subscribe below, and I'll see you in the kitchen.